let's ask this question right off the bat. It's a heavy question. Has feminism destroyed the West? I mean, one could argue, if they're holding the opinion, it is destroying, but really destroyed, past tense. What do you think, Myron?
Well, it depends on in which way you want to go. If you want to talk about destroying the family, the dating marketplace, the way women view men in general, there's so many different problems that have come from feminism, and it's a multi-pronged issue depending on whichever section you want to go.
Name one.
I mean, we could start with dating, right? So these bitches are too entitled, if I'm going to be honest. Their expectations are far too high for what they bring to the table. They're fairly delusional thanks to, social media, dating apps, etc., where, simps are blowing smoke up their ass all the time. And what's happened is women have a very unrealistic standard on what they think they deserve versus what's out there. And if they do find that guy, they think that guy should kind of bend to their women. The reality is it doesn't work that way.
Wait, actually, one thing I want to give a little pushback, though, Myron, and
Sure.
you do talk about this a lot. We talk about the 304s, the hoes.
Yes.
So if these girls are being extra picky, kind of like you're saying, then why are they also hoes at the same time?
Good question.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because a lot of them are hoes.
So when I say that they're hoes, what I mean is they have promiscuous type behavior. I mean, they're still, having sex with a smaller portion of the men, but they're still getting a high body count because there's a lot of these guys. So what ends up happening is a lot of girls end up being Eskimo sisters with a lot of other women because they're all smashing the same, minority of men. And this gets, especially like in major cities, like in Miami, for example, right? Like the girls that are going out and doing things and whatever, they're hooking up with the same small percentage of guys all the time.
I never
That's what I
thought
mean.
about that.
Right? I mean, obviously that's a hyper, analyzed portion of it, but in general,
Well, let's ask the women. Do women have too high of expectations for men, and are they hoes?
If they are, who cares? I would say no. I would say I enjoy being a member of society. I like being able to vote. I like being able to have a bank account. And it's so crazy that I'm also a mother at the same time with a husband who loves me and is able to handle the fact that I'm my own person.
Well, I think Kat makes actually a good point, though, Myron. Like, is it that bad if a girl has a job and a college education? Like, a driven woman, let's say she's driven to do more
Sure.
than just be a mom. Like, why is that demonized, I guess, in your opinion?
Well, look, I don't have a problem with women, aspiring to go to school and everything else like that. My thing is I think we just need to be honest with them. If you're going to go ahead and pursue a career and higher education, your chances of finding a man are going to drop off precipitously because your standards go up as you increase your income, your status, because women are hypergamous. They're not like us. When we get status and money, our standards stay fairly the same, or we just want a hotter girl. But when women increase their status, they want a guy on their level financially, mentally, etc. So we just need to be honest with women is the more successful you become, the likelihood of you finding a guy drop off.
There's a really
That was
funny-
not the case for me. I'm actually more successful than you are, Myron.
Oh, wow, shots fired. Well, to be fair,
And I have a baby. Do you have a baby?
You know what's funny to me? I looked around, I didn't see a stove, so I don't know why this woman's here not talking.
Yeah.
Like, I thought we were.
I don't make dinner. I make money.
This is not a kitchen. This is not a kitchen somehow. Some woman is talking. I don't know. This isn't a kitchen, but she's talking.
I got an important point for you, Myron.
Yeah.
All that matters in the end is in 20, 30 years, she's already got a genetic leg up with having a kid. If you don't have a kid, your line ends. Where's your kid at?
Oh, well, I'll have one eventually. I'm just going to try. I'm trying to pick out my 4 wives first. You know what I mean? So I'm picking them out.
There's another woman here, though. I don't know, Kat. Do you consider yourself conservative or liberal or?
I mean, I consider myself my own person. I'm independent.
All right. Well, the self-avowed liberal. What say you?
What say I? I say, the two questions, are women's standards increasing? Yeah, I would say by and large, women's standards are increasing as they get access to work and education. The issue is that they're not really staying single. Most of the Pew Research shows that women are dating and dating successfully. The real question that I think is actually at the heart of all of this is are people happy? Are people finding meaningful relationships? And in what ways is society hampering and harming them or benefiting them? I think those are the important questions.
Yeah, I feel
they're
like
not in relationships.
Yeah,
It's
loneliness
fucked.
up? Isn't loneliness up, Tim?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think
dating is
up,
down,
yeah.
loneliness is up. There was that graph that went viral that people are basically becoming neats, men and women. They're less conscientious. They're more neurotic. They're less agreeable. They're isolating themselves. I don't know if that's a product of feminism, but what I can say is right now the current system is not conducive to happy relationships between either men and women.
I actually agree. I think that the way that our society has oriented itself, where it's obsession over money and working and the betrayal of family and connection relationship is harming everyone. I don't think that this is a unique like woman problem or man problem. When we're talking about like the loneliness epidemic, it's mostly a male skewed issue, right? Like men, in the Pew Research, men between the ages of like 18 to 25, 1% of them, I think, hadn't even dated before. Whereas I think it was only like 30% of young women.
Doesn't that prove Myron's point?
Sort of. I mean,
These women are dating, but the men are not. That means the women are dating all the same guys.
well, no, they're not. Like most of these women are in monogamous relationships, right? The issue is
Well,
actually
so
20-year-olds are dating like men that are typically like 4 to 5 years older than them. That's actually more so what we're seeing.
So let's just break it down for me, my misunderstanding then, because it sounds like I might be misunderstanding. What was the number? Most women have found relationships?
30% of women have dated between the ages of 18 and 25, whereas
And then-
61% of men have not dated.
Right, okay,
Wow.
so that's the same number, isn't it?
Sorry, I'm not understanding.
That
what you're
means
saying.
30% of men have dated and 30% of women have dated.
No, 61% of men between the ages of 18 to 25 have not had a relationship.
So that means 30 of them have dated then.
So that means 30% of men have had a relationship.
Sorry, did I mess up? Did I misspeak?
You're saying both. 30% of women
Have not dated.
Have not dated.
Okay, have not
60%
dated.
Sorry,
have
yeah.
not
Okay,
dated.
so
Yeah,
that,
we get it. Sorry.
so if it's 2 to 1 men not dating but women are dating, then the women would have to be dating.
Well,
the
between
same
that
guys.
age, well, no,
Right.
that's the age bracket. 18 to 25 is one of the key things.
Right,
that's
okay,
going
so
on.
but the
So
point
women
is,
are dating older men.
Oh, I see.
That's what's making up the
Yes.
gap.
One
I
point
think Myron
that-
agrees with that, right?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is, average women don't want average men. They date up. And now with, the way we have society, hypergamy is not only reinforced, but it's encouraged. Women are told to not settle. They're told to get the best man that they can get. So a lot of girls think that they qualify for something a lot of times, which they actually don't. And sometimes I have to be the reality and let them know, like, look, you're average. You got to be, a little bit more realistic about where you stand.
This isn't really
but average
hypergamy,
women
though.
don't want average men.
This isn't really hypergamy though, right? Like what are men typically selecting for in a relationship? Youthfulness, beauty, right? Some level of like making him feel good. What are women selecting for? Stability factors. And so in this way, women are dating the pool of men that give them the stability factors because it usually takes men a couple of years to get education and a career and like something built underneath them. And men are selecting for the things that they
Well,
want.
it's
which
not
is
just
young
stability
and
anymore,
beauty.
is what I'm trying to say. It's not just stability.
do you
It's
mean?
also, is the guy handsome? Is he tall? Is he charming? Is he charismatic? Like, since women make their own money, they're able to be a bit more selective because they don't just need the provisioning anymore. They want other things as well. Is he handsome? How does he look? Etc. So women do have a staked interest now in how a man looks and how he conveys himself as well, since they handle the provisioning part themselves. So it's made women more selective, but that's kind of come at their dismay because now it's harder to find that guy. There's the total package with everything.
Sure. The issue is that like the actual problem here is that we're leaving men behind. The issue isn't that we're like raising women up. It's that men are disproportionately being like undereducated in school. Primary school is horrible for young boys. We're not giving them social scripts on how to exist. And we're still telling young men that their only value is the amount that they can contribute to the GDP. When in the reality is that like what women are looking for is men that like make them feel valuable, men that they can emotionally connect to. And so like the real issue here isn't that we're raising women up. It's that we're leaving men behind, which I'm actually very interested in.
Well, I want to make this one point though. I think men are a victim of what their surroundings because the amount of men that have microplastics in their testicles now. Seriously, now the amount of estrogen.
You're
in
getting
men,
some right now.
Exactly. So I'm
trying to
saying,
fill up.
don't we
Oh,
think men now have higher estrogen levels than ever in recorded history?
Yeah.
So I feel like that is kind of why the men are, I guess, coming in second place if we talk about.
Well,
feminism.
there's a
It's a
multitude of
problem for
problems.
everyone. I'm only 36 and I've already had cancer.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's a serious thing. I
Yeah.
know it's serious.
Yeah,
Some
there's
environmental
problems.
shit going on. for
And who's
sure.
in good shape, Kat? Like you've never been fat or gross.
No,
I'm
not
saying
to
you should-
brag, but I've never been fat. Yeah.
I mean that does have like they say the fatter you are, the more likely you are to get cancer. So I'm just saying there's a lot of toxins in our water, in our food that are making men, less masculine and less aggressive.
I want to. Maybe I'm just jumping the gun, but I was just thinking about if we want to go into dating stuff, I think maybe we'll come back to it. But and the question of feminism, the one thing that I really pisses me off, women won the right to vote without civic responsibility, and so
They shouldn't have the right to vote.
You can make the argument.
Repeal the
I think it's fine. I think it's fine to say women should have the right to vote. However, we got to look at the context in the United States, and that's women do not have an obligation to die in war that men do, but women can vote overwhelmingly for Democrats promoting these wars, and then men are left on the hook for a war they tend not to vote for. That's fucked up.
So, sure. The issue
I'm glad
is,
we're on this topic. Repeal the 19th. I was
yeah.
going to say that earlier when she was yapping, but that's fine. Yeah, repeal the 19th.
I think only landowners should vote. Let's go back. Let's go back to pre-Civil War. Try to vote now, Myron.
Women shouldn't be able to vote.
I think we have two issues here, right? Number one, the vote has never actually been tied to military service. It's typically citizenship and age, are usually kind of the two main things that we've always used for voting. I would be totally fine with us having an amendment where we add women to selective service. I have no issue with that whatsoever, right? And I think equal strokes. The issue is that when it comes to voting, there are going to be topics that uniquely affect men and uniquely affect women. In this case, war does uniquely affect men right now, which might be unfair. But in the case of something like abortion and birthright control and all these sort of things, these disproportionately affect women, right? And so when we're talking about like who gets the right to vote, is it because of like certain topics uniquely affect one gender than another? That's not how we've ever tied the right to vote. It could be landowners, it could be multiple things. In America, though, we seem to mostly decide age and citizenship.
But the problem I have is that Democrats have been substantially more likely to vote for war, to promote war, particularly Ukraine. Republicans have been pressuring Trump not to be involved. His base split over the Iran issue. Millennial women are about 70% voting Democrat. So you have this phenomenon in the millennial to Gen Z younger generation where women are disproportionately voting for a war they have no responsibility in, or I should say a limited responsibility in. And it's crazy to me that half the population can vote to send the other half to die, and that's equality.
So I'm a millennial woman, and I am married to a veteran, and both of us are very anti-war. He is anti-war as somebody who went over there. I think that to pin the power of the military-industrial complex, which is a very powerful force, on women being able to vote is wild. But I also understand
that's a mischaracterization of what I said.
I think I was talking more about what Myron said than what you said. I understand also that this is like Myron's whole thing. But so you have to say like women can't vote, and then you get attention, and you also kind of act like you invented misogyny, which you didn't. Like it's been around for a very long time. These are not hot takes. These are like very old, archaic
But
takes.
he is in the top 10, right?
Because he goes really hard and he gets a lot of attention for it. And then there are these men, sadly, who listen to you who I think are lonely. And I love men. I'm not like a man-hating woman. I love men. And I think that a lot of men have been left behind in a lot of ways. And I understand that. But I don't think that blaming all of your problems, if you do blame all your problems on women, then that could be the reason why you don't have one.
There's another group of people that Myron blames his problems on, and it's not women.
Well, I want to let Myron respond, but I guess I want to pose this question. What is the bigger threat, feminism or misogyny? What's worse for society?
So when I say feminism, I feel like things like I have the right to vote. I have a job. I'm a participating member of society, which is different than hating men. So it kind of depends how you
well, do you hate women, Myron? I'm not just more curious.
Sometimes. Actually, I'm just kidding. Look, the reality is that when it comes to feminism, etc., women are stupid. Let's be honest about this. And the reason why, right? It's not just, and she said it herself, misogyny isn't something new. She's right. In ancient China, to the Middle East, to Eastern Europe, everybody knew that women are so we need to make them second-class citizens. So that's why they didn't have the right to vote and do a lot of stuff. And then now
what an eloquent argument. I never could have come up with something that intelligent.
She's acting like a woman right now. Holy
woman.
crap. I let her speak and now she won't let me speak. So it's interesting to me how she said, oh yeah, this isn't something new. Yeah, you're right. Everyone since ancient times knew that women we need to make them second-class citizens. Here's the craziest part. They lived in other ends of the world and they still realize the Asian dudes, ling bing ding, all the way to the fucking Mohammeds in the Middle East, to the Eastern Europeans of Slav, they all knew, damn, women are stupid. We need to go ahead and put them in the kitchen. Now they're out the kitchen, and what's going on? Society is crumbling.
Which civilization of all the ones that you listed do you like the most? Do you like modern America, or do you like Saudi Arabia, or do you like, ancient Japan? Which one do you like the most?
Well, look, I like any society that has women under control, and right now we don't, which is why shit is fucked up.
So why don't you move to Saudi Arabia? They don't have the right to vote. They can barely drive. What?
It's a great place.
Do you want Sharia law? No,
that's
Myron.
true. They can drive now. They can drive.
They can drive, and that's bad.
Wait, are you? But be
so
honest.
You think that Saudi Arabia is a better country than America?
When it comes to handling women, yes. Yes, when it comes to
Well,
handling
just overall,
women, yes.
don't change the question.
And
Don't run away
crime
from
is
it.
less in Saudi
Do you
Arabia,
think
though.
Well, they have less crime.
you were talking about these global things about how when women are oppressed, that's been the societal trend. And so I asked you, modern America decided, along with a whole bunch of Western democracies, and I think you like Western civilization,
I do,
that
I
that's
do.
a bad idea. And so the question is, why is America so great if Saudi Arabia's got this one thing so well to like what? Shouldn't that be the great
Well,
country?
you could be better in different ways, right? Like
so Muslim
what I-
theocracies got it.
No,
they're
I
great.
didn't say. No, I didn't say that.
Oh.
What I'm saying is, here's the problem, right? When you have women having too much power, it creates a lot of issues because women are communitarian by nature, right? They don't know what the fuck they want to do. They can't even decide what they want to eat, let alone pick their own partners. That's why the divorce rates are through the fucking
Wait,
roof.
time out.
That's
You
why
guys
marriage
admit
is
it's
down in
hard
the
for women to
dumpster.
choose what to eat, though, Kat. Is that true? Can we at least
know?
agree on
Well,
that?
yes, but it also could be all this nicotine gum I'm always chewing.
Okay,
like never that hungry.
that is typically my girlfriend. It is hard for women to choose what to eat. I think you're 100% right about that.
Sure, but we also are like negating the fact that like some of the biggest breakthroughs in ecology science come from the humanitarian approach that women have. DNA was discovered by women. So like the issue is that women are decently valuable. When we talk about women being stupid, men are stupid all the time too. Men are the like morons that are ending up in fucking jail all the time because they can't like stop
Wait,
punching shit.
you made a good point. I think.
Wait. Is Frederick Meischer a woman? DNA was first identified by Swiss chemist Friedrich Meischer.
Yeah, they were trying to take
Who
credit
stole
for
it
our stuff.
from?
They also
Look at
say
that.
they were trying to say
Wow.
Wi-Fi was made by women. No, it wasn't. It was made by men as well. Women don't invent anything. They don't contribute to anything besides. Like, to be honest, the only real value women have is reproductive
I
value.
contribute more to
We're
the
gonna be honest.
economy than you do, Myron, just objectively.
Wait. I want to say I'm on Kat and NotSoErudite's side though. That don't you think women are equally valuable to society though? You don't think so?
Dude, if you remove sex and reproduction, they provide almost nothing.
Yeah, but those are
We're gonna be
we wouldn't
honest.
have life without those things.
Yeah,
so
sure.
so don't
Well, sure. But I want to be clear about this.
Field?
We don't need them. Like, here's the thing: women need us. We don't need them. We need them to propagate
They have our
society for the
babies,
next
dude.
generation. That's what my point. I said outside of reproduction. So, like, if we want to have kids, yes, we need them, but they need us for everything. So the reality is, men bring far more value to society than women do. The only real value they provide is reproductive value. Because let's be honest here. You guys don't give a fuck about what they got to say. You guys are here for us. Nobody cares about what women got to say. They're the suckiest podcasters. Female YouTubers suck. Nobody gives a fuck about their opinion. We're just there for the tits.
Isn't
Let's
like
be
the
honest.
when some of the largest podcasts, all Candace Owens, Call Her Daddy, like some of the largest podcasts are
And
female
to
run.
be fair,
Candace
wait,
Owens is
hold
an
on.
exception.
It doesn't.
hold
It doesn't
on.
matter if you don't like them. The point is that they're highly successful. So maybe you guys don't like to listen to women, but that doesn't mean that broader society doesn't. For example, take women out of the workforce. You've nuked your economy overnight. It's done. They contribute, even if we're being mild and conservative, 30%.
Well, that'd be
probably
good.
around 50%.
That'd be good for the airline pilot industry, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that save us a lot?
I don't know. It seems like there's a lot more going on with the airline pilot
Yeah,
industry than just women.
But women are usually taking social jobs like teachers and nurses and stuff like
Yeah,
this.
we need those jobs.
We do, but we need petroleum engineers more.
I would disagree.
I don't know
We need
about
to
that.
raise our
I
children.
mean,
I,
we
I
think
would like
we should
literate
Abolish
children.
Public schools.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
Public schools are shit.
But we should still be teaching our kids. We want our kids to be literate.
I agree. And I think
We need
women
nurses,
are great teachers. when it
right? Like
comes to,
every
basic
one of
knowledge
you
stuff.
has been to a hospital, and you're probably super grateful that there's an entire help industry oriented at making sure that your ass doesn't die. Especially a lot of your fat asses don't die.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Culture War podcast. We're live every Friday, 10 a.m. to noon, so subscribe and come hang out.